gang, I'm Coach Crystal with Simply Fit, and today we're going to talk about giving your shoulders the TLC that they so desperately deserve. So the shoulder, right, we've got two of them. There's two different components. We've got the front and then we've got the back. So we want to make sure that we address both parts of this. Also understanding that the neck and the shoulders play a huge role together, right? They're connected. So we're going to talk about giving the neck a little bit of TLC, which also is just going to help the shoulder and make everything feel good, right? Who doesn't love that? Tools to keep in your arsenal. A foam roller. There's different densities. Find the one that works for you. They've got blue ones that are soft and squishy, and then the goal is to work up to one that's kind of like this dense one that I've got here, right? I recommend OPTP, Optimum Performance foam rollers. They're the ones that tend to withstand the longest. I very rarely have them break down, whereas other ones that might be a little bit on, on the generic brand side, they tend to like squish in over time, just like a pool noodle would. So I would say invest the extra $10, get the OPTP. You can get it on Amazon. Great tool. Other tools, softball, lacrosse ball. I like the lacrosse ball because it's grippy, so it doesn't slide around. But the softball is a tool that can get into certain places. It depends on how you're built, right? This is not a one size fits all. Nothing in life should be like that. Neither should the tools that care for your body, right? So we need to find the things that work best for you. And that's what we're here to do. So the shoulder, we're going to work and address the foam roller first. And then these other tools are kind of more acute. So you can get into certain areas if you've got, a knot in your back or something that's been bothering you, to do a little self-discovery, right? So things to consider when you're doing this. Oftentimes when something hurts on one side, it's because something has gotten out of whack on the opposite side. So just because something hurts on one side doesn't mean we neglect the other side. In fact, oftentimes when you give TLC to the side that isn't hurting, the side that does hurt will start to mediate. So here we go. Foam roller. We're going to start laying on your belly. So from here, we're going to lay all the way down and we're going to drop the shoulder onto the foam roller. And so from here, what we're going to do is just kind of kitty cornered at a 45-degree angle. And I'm just going to rock my body right to left. And it's kind of awkward. Again, depending on how you're built, this might work for you. It might not. So just follow me on this. We're just going to go right to left. What we can do is we can move the foam roller out away from you just a little bit and get into your bicep. Okay, so this is where we can do palm down, or we can twist the palm and go palm up. And just get into that bicep, that tricep area. That usually feels pretty good. And of course, you can move stuff around. So just because I'm doing this a certain way doesn't mean that you can't move the foam roller and kind of just get into certain areas that are calling to you, right? Listen to what your body needs. But here's something to consider. The shoulder also has a back component, right? Go figure. We want to make sure that we address both sides. So from here, and this can be a little sensitive for some people, so stay with me on this. What we're going to do is we're going to start by the rib cage. We're using the elbow that I've got directly kind of underneath the shoulder. And I'm also using my feet and my hand to fight gravity. So we can roll forward and back, right? Use the whole body as a unit. It's all connected. Okay, so inhaling and exhaling just as you twist, just making sure that you breathe. This one is a little bit intense, so people have an inclination to want to hold their breath, so just be aware of that. And then we can move this up a little bit and go forward and back again, and then you can just slowly work your way up kind of to that little crux of the armpit back there. Inhaling and exhaling. You can leave the elbow down on the ground for this one if you want to lift the elbow up. Going to intensify it just a little bit. I am supporting my head with my hand because why not let the neck relax? A lot of times I feel like people are just going so hard, right? Like foam rolling aggressively and stuff like that. And so oftentimes the body is just wanting to like be able to lay down, rest, and relax. And that's what this space is for. So don't feel like you got to like force it and like go for gold on the foam roller. This is a space that's supposed to feel good. And mixed with a little bit of discomfort sometimes that doesn't feel so great, right? Like if you've gone hiking and then you try to foam roll your quads, that might be a time when they're a little bit more susceptible and a little bit more sore. But overall, this should feel good. Okay, now just to show you the neck really quick before I get into my other more acute tools there. just rolling over onto your back and just placing this under the head like a pillow. And so I like to place my hands on my belly. You can place them in whatever position that feels right to you. And just taking deep breaths in through the nose and maybe opening the mouth, exhaling. This type of breathing in through the nose, opening the mouth. It's like speaking body language back to your body to tell it that it's safe, right? Because if we have time to stop and do this slow, rhythmic, deep breathing, we must not be being chased by a lion. Therefore, we must be safe. So again, this is body language that you're doing to reset your nervous system and to speak, relaxation back to your body. So just turning the head left to right, in through the nose, open, out through the mouth. It's funny, every time I get down here and I do this, I always find that the first inhale and exhale, I feel like I lose like 10 pounds of stress and pressure. It's worth it for that alone. All right. So I could do that for 45 more minutes, but we're going to move on. Next, we've got the softball or the lacrosse ball. And so these things, you can sit very simply in your chair and you can go forward and back. This guy's a little big for me there, so I would prefer to use this one here. And so just remember, we've got ribs that come up here. So rolling kind of in between those ribs, you'll feel that there are muscles up here that are tight and sore. Oftentimes because we're spending a lot of time on computers, the shoulders are rounded, curling forward. And as a result, the neck, the shoulders, everything gets tight, right? And so we need to spend time massaging and stretching gently. So there's a couple of different ways that you can get into the chest. You can also take this, and we can lay down and you can just place it behind your back, just in a spot that you would think would kind of feel good here. So just to show you, this is kind of like where I'm putting it. And then I might walk my body down so that I can get it just a little bit lower, perhaps back here. Okay, so there's just lots of different places that you can place this behind. And so for this, I'm not necessarily going to do a whole lot of moving, but what we can do is raise the shoulder, raise the hand, which will raise the shoulder, and you can manipulate the body around the ball, right? So we want to have that in a place where you can kind of be moving and being able to relax. And sometimes simply, like I was talking about, we want to go for gold, but simply just breathing and allowing the body to regulate its own nervous system will oftentimes help alleviate a lot of those knots and things that get cranky in there that cause us that discomfort. Okay. The other thing that you can do is you can do the reverse, simply flipping over, and then we would place this under the chest. Okay. And then we could do something similar where we would rock back and forth. And that actually feels pretty good. So those are a couple of different ways that you can get in to the shoulder and give it that TLC that it deserves. A couple of stretches that you can do also, whether you're standing or sitting, you can simply place, so let's do this together. We'll place the left hand just behind the back, and then sitting up tall, find really good posture, pull your head back, and then we're gonna tilt the head to the right and glance up at the ceiling if you can look that high, right? And that's the goal there. And just inhaling, open mouth, exhaling. Inhaling, open mouth, exhaling. Let's do one more. Inhale, exhale. Take the hand gently from behind the back and just kind of shake that out a little bit. Just kind of resetting here. We'll place the right hand behind the back. Okay, again, good posture, trying to pull back. The head, the shoulder, we're gonna tilt that head to the left, glancing up at the ceiling, and we're going to inhale through the nose, exhale out of the mouth. 2 more. Inhale, exhale. Last one. Inhale, exhale. The final stretch that I'll show you is called open book. I start every virtual group class with this one. Super, super good for the spine to twist on its axis. So that's what we're going to do with it. So we're going to start laying on your side. Okay, so again, start laying on your side. We're going to hike the knees up as high as they go. Flex your toes up towards you too, right? Flex the toes up. Inhale. And then we're going to exhale, keeping your eyes on this hand as we twist and open I recommend staying here, doing an inhale and exhale, 1 cycle of breath. Here we go. Good, and then we'd close it up. And then of course, we're gonna switch sides. I'm gonna show you what that looks like from the other side. Inhale, open mouth, and exhale. If you're flexible, the bottom leg, you can straighten the bottom leg, readjust yourself. That top leg will find the floor. And then we'll close it back up and do it again. Inhale, big exhale. And it's okay if your hand or your arm doesn't touch the floor. The goal is to feel a nice twist in the body, to feel an open chest stretch, feel that nice twist through the obliques down into that, your lats down into your hip. And then we close it up. So those are a few tools. Again, softball, okay, lacrosse ball. Those are more acute. And then we've got the different densities of the OPTP foam roller. So hopefully this will help you put some tools in your arsenal to be able to care for yourself and care for your shoulder. Keep rolling.